Ah, look at Liam Neeson playing a guy who has a troubled past again. He really likes those kinds of roles. Run All Night is directed by Jean-Claude Serra, the same guy who brought you Unknown and last year with Non-Stop, which I find pretty entertaining and okay. And now he has this starring Liam Neeson again, and the movie also stars Joel Kinnaman from last year's RoboCop, Ed Harris, and Common. Now, judging from the trailer, it looks like something from Taken 4 or something, where Liam Neeson is a badass shooting people, saving the day. Well, hell no. He plays somebody really different, and in this movie he plays a deadbeat dad who has a son played by Kinnaman, and their relationship is not impressing. The son has beef with him because he left him, he becomes dangerous, so the son has nothing to do with him. This movie takes place in one night, and Liam Neeson has only one night to make up with his son because there are a whole bunch of cops and mobsters out there to kill the son. Liam Neeson killed someone and they all blame the son, and Liam Neeson is trying to clean up that mess and keeps his son safe. So there are a whole bunch of stuff happening. You got Liam Neeson, the son, mobsters, cops, an assassin, a whole bunch of families, a whole bunch of stuff in one bucket. So this film has a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, but it doesn't mean it's heavily convoluted, so you'll still be able to follow the story. So is this an action film? Definitely. But this is more than just some action film. It's an action film that is able to take consideration with the characters, especially with Neeson. This year we have Taken 3, and remember what I said in that review about Liam Neeson acting like a video game character? He gets hurt and minutes later he's suddenly alright. But in this movie, the movie treats him like a human being. He does some shit in his past and all he wants is someone to love him, and all he wants was some love with his son that he abandoned. So he's an outcast. He has a shitty life and nobody cares about him, and he wants to be loved. So even though he's a guy who puts everything back together, just like in the Taken movies, you still feel pretty bad for him because he's suffering. There is actually one scene where he takes a moment, he looks at a loving family, and he's like, if only I was living in a world where everyone was appreciating me. If only I was living in a world where I don't have to deal with this bullshit. The scene really hit me, and you believe that you are dealing with a human being rather than a wannabe Grand Theft Auto character. In Non-Stop, Neeson played a character who was down on his luck, but the emotional core wasn't really there. But it's still a good movie. A Walk Among the Tombstones, again, down on his luck, but again, the emotion not really there. But still a good movie. But with Run All Night, it's done right. Now, the relationship between Neeson and Kinnaman, and you totally believe the relationship. Joel Kinnaman, he was good, for the most part. Ed Harris, now both Liam Neeson and Harris compete together, and is the main antagonist. And there was this scene where they were both at a restaurant and it was done well. They both have an objective, and throughout the film it's really suspenseful. Neeson and Kinnaman also has to face Common, who is an assassin. Common did great, however he looked like a stereotypical assassin with the deep voice, sunglasses, a pistol with a suppressor, and a trench coat. Do you know what he kinda reminds me of? Ah, yes. So his character is a bit distracting at times. So the film takes place in one day and some of the shots were really beautiful, and the film never dragged on. The pacing was great, it was run, boom, 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 get things going, and a very thrilling film. As much as I like this film, it has its problems. Some of the transition scenes, where the camera literally goes around the city from scene to scene, kinda puts off the tone for a couple of seconds. Kinda cool but awkward. I love the score of the film 9 out of 10, but sometimes it feels like it's trying to mimic Hans Zimmer. I mean, even in the credits it sounds like something from The Dark Knight. Very awesome score, but again, awkward. Also, I feel like the structure could be a little organized. There was one scene where Joel Kinnaman goes after this kid, which we barely see in the film, and you wonder to yourself if it's even worth it, so you get lost for a while. that by saying I had fun with this film. The suspense is there, the pacing is great. I love how the movie treats its characters, especially with Liam Neeson. It's one of the best Liam Neeson movies I've seen for a while. And have fun. It's crazy, it's entertaining. 7 running footsteps out of 10. So, that is my take of Run All Night. Thank you for watching. More reviews on the way.
Been a long night, huh, Jimmy?